All right, folks, it's almost game time. About 3 hours away from kickoff. The first part of a journey that hopefully ends in Houston, but more realistically, well, we're going to play this one game by game because it's fun to be optimistic, it's fun to be hopeful, but I think we all know that for this team to do anything more than just win one playoff game would be pretty phenomenal achievement. But we're here. We're going to play the games. We're going to give our best effort. So I may as well as a fan show up. This week we've got the Detroit Lions. I said I was going to make a video before the game, so technically I am. I wanted to get it out a little before this, but you guys know how it goes. I'm watching the Raiders Houston game right now. And this is going to be a really interesting one. Detroit Lions, they had a very entertaining season. They won a lot of close games. They came back in a lot of games. They showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination. They're also a pretty flawed team, but I mean, you want to talk about a flawed team. What on this team, this Seahawk team, can you depend on right now? There is hardly anything that you can depend on from week to week right now, and it sucks. It does. So where do we start with this one? They have a good offense, the Lions. Mostly their passing attack. Matthew Stafford has had a really good season, and he's made it clear that he is one of the elite quarterbacks in this league right now. Even if he doesn't always get that kind of credit, he most certainly is. Golden Tate has stepped up especially in the latter portions of the season, and had a really good year. Andre Roberts has been a good secondary receiver. They've gotten a good season out of Eric Ebron. They just have a really fun passing attack. They've got a couple different running backs that they've cycled through this season, but that's not really the most stellar part of their team. But that's a good offense, and what they do better than just about any other offense out there is they stay on the field. They convert third downs. They keep drives going. They just find a way to keep the sticks moving, keep the chains moving. And that's been something that has been hurting this Seahawk team all season long. You know, we can't get off the field on defense. The defense wears out. We're on the field for 35 to 40 minutes a game. It's brutal. And that's not a matchup that I'm really looking forward to. An offense that knows how to convert third downs against a defense that's struggling to get off the field. Because if there's anything that can happen in this game that can lead to a Seahawk loss, it's that. And then our offense against their defense. Conversely, what their defense has done a really good job of is getting off the field, because their defense, if they're forced to play, a lot of plays and a lot of minutes over the course of a game, they're not that good. Their defense, okay, yeah, they have some good things going on that side of the ball, but it's not a great defense by any stretch. I mean, it is a defense that gave up 42 points to the Cowboys, that gave up 31 points to the Packers last week. It's not a great defense, but they are good enough to get off the field, and they benefit a lot from what the offense does in staying on the field. So what this Lions team is really all about is time of possession. They stay on the field on offense, and they get off the field on defense. So we have to make sure our offense stays on the field and our defense gets off the field. If we can do that, there are weaknesses on this Detroit team we can exploit. I don't think their defense as a whole is that good. I don't think their pass rush is, although any pass rush is capable of looking good against this team, their pass rush is not as good as many other teams out there. Their secondary is not as good as a lot of other teams out there. But it's not going to matter if we can't find a way to stay on the field and give ourselves more plays to exploit those weaknesses. So I think we can win. That's oh shit, fumble. Oh shit. This game is freaking weird. Yeah, basically, It's just about time of possession for me. And if we can get that done, we'll win. But the problem is, looking at this team right now, there is nothing on this team, this Seahawk team, that you can depend on. You look at the Lions; they've had a pretty dependable offense this year, and their defense. It's not great, but it's been pretty dependably good enough this season. I'm looking at these guys right now, this Seahawk team, and offensively, the offensive line is so capable of being terrible from week to week that you can't depend on them for anything. Yes, Wilson is a good quarterback who had his worst season, but still a good season. Yes, Thomas Rawls plays hard and does everything he can to produce to the top of his ability. Yes, Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham are great receiving options, but there is no area of execution on this team you can depend on right now, at least on offense. The passing game, you don't know if it's going to show up. I mean, Wilson can have bad games. He's had a few this year. The offensive line can completely wreck any chance you have of being effective. The running game, of course, completely not dependable right now. Even turnovers, man. I mean, we're still one of the better teams in the league in terms of avoiding turnovers, but some games you just can't depend on it. And defensively, I'll give them run defense. Even when this season was bad, even when the defense was struggling, especially these last 2 weeks, run defense has been pretty damn good. Not as good as it's been in previous years, but it's been good. But pass defense, like sometimes the pass rush doesn't show up. Sometimes the secondary struggles. It's, I don't know. And special teams, don't even get me started on that shit. So, going into this game, I know we can win. Maybe I even expect us to win on some level, but it's tough to have a lot of confidence right now. And for me, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.